Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. Happy Sunday! How are you guys? I just woke up a little while ago, can you tell? And I'm sitting here enjoying a cup of coffee. I'm in my Airbnb bedroom. You can see I have not made my bed, per the book, Make Your Bed, this morning, but I'm getting ready to do that in just a second. And so if you don't know, I'm out in Arizona visiting my book club partner, Mel, and she's downstairs right now watching Ghost Adventures and crocheting while I film a couple Peterisms videos, one for today and one for tomorrow. And we just had the most fantastic weekend. We filmed like 9 videos together yesterday or something like that, and we're getting ready to go do another review video, and then we're gonna get some food, and we're just gonna hang around the house, and we might do a live stream or something later, we're not sure. So anyway, we have just had the most amazing weekend, and we've had so much fun just sitting and talking, and it's just been a blast. But I want to get some meditations going today, and I was like sitting outside doing my gratitude list, thinking in my head about some things. So I want to, I brought, can you guys believe I actually brought Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, like I said I was going to bring. So I want to get in here and just randomly pick out a reading. You ready? Oh, this is a long one. Oh, I already did that. See the Innocents? Okay, let's pick another one. Allow yourself to be bored. Oh, this is a good one for me. So I've talked a lot about this on my vlog, and I've talked a little bit about it, a little bit about it on here too, that I have a really hard time just being present and just sitting still, and, you know, like, I love to read, but that's why it's really kind of easier for me to listen to audiobooks, because I can do other things while I'm, you know, listening to an audiobook. But I have a hard time sitting down and just kind of being present. And going into 2020, one of the goals that I made for myself, although I'm sure this sounds silly to a lot of people, is that I wanted to like watch more Netflix films or Netflix, you know, shows or movies and things like that. And I have watched like 6 or 7 whole series already this year. Not all long. Some of them are only like 3 episodes or whatever. But I've actually watched quite a few. And it's really enjoyable. And I'm learning kind of how to be bored. Because like I get up and like already you can see, I made like a list this morning. I was like, okay, I want to make this video and I want to make that video and I want to do this and I want to do that. I like make lists even when I'm like on vacation. I make lists, right? And it's kind of the language that I speak. And so it's really hard for me to just kind of like be present. So I'm practicing being present and being bored, you know, like it's okay to not do anything. And Sunday's a really good example for this for me, because, you know, like we'll go to brunch on a Sunday, my husband and I, and he's in San Diego right now at a music festival. Well, he's not at the music festival yet. He's actually at brunch right now. He just sent me a video of them all at brunch. But, you know, we'll go to brunch on a Sunday, and then I'll come home, and I'll either have, like, the book club live stream, or I'll be like, I want to make this video, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. I've got all these projects, right, that I'm working on. And he'll lay in bed for, like, 6 straight hours and watch, like, all of his shows. And I'm sometimes kind of, like, jealous that, like, I don't have the ability to do that, you know, that, like, even if I had nothing that I wanted to work on, I don't know that I could still just kind of, like, lay there and relax like that. And I think it's really good for our minds to just kind of let go of, you know, everything and just kind of be bored. I think it's important sometimes. So this will be a good meditation for me, or a good reading. Okay, allow yourself to be bored. I should have brought my readers. The light is not great in this room. For many of us, our lives are so filled with stimuli, not to mention responsibilities, that it's almost impossible for us to sit still and do nothing, much less relax, even for a few minutes. A friend of mine said to me, people are no longer human beings, we should be called human doings. I was first exposed to the idea that occasional boredom can actually be good for me while studying with a therapist in LaConner, Washington, a tiny little town with very little to do. After finishing our first day together, I asked my instructor, what is there to do around here at night? He responded by saying, what I'd like you to do is allow yourself to be bored. Do nothing. This is part of your training. At first I thought he was kidding. Why on earth would I choose to be bored? I added, or why on earth would I choose to be bored, I asked. He went on to explain that if you allow yourself to be bored, even for an hour or less, and don't fight it, the feelings of boredom will be replaced with feelings of peace. Oh, that's interesting. And after a little practice, you'll learn to relax. Much to my surprise, he was absolutely right. At first, I could barely stand it. I was so used to doing something every second that I really struggled to relax. But after a while, I got used to it and have long since learned to enjoy it. I'm not talking about hours of idle time or laziness, but simply learning the art of relaxing, of just being rather than doing for a few minutes each day. There isn't a specific technique other than to consciously do nothing. Just sit still, perhaps look out the window and notice your thoughts and feelings. At first you may get a little anxious, but each day it will get a little easier. The payback is tremendous. Much of our anxiety and inner struggle stems from our busy, I really need my reading glasses, from our busy, overactive minds always needing something to entertain them, something to focus on, and always wondering what's next. While we're eating dinner, we wonder what's for dessert. While eating dessert, we ponder what we should do afterwards. After that evening, it's what should we do this weekend? After we've been out, we walk into the house and immediately turn on the television, pick up the phone, open a book, or start cleaning. It's almost as though we're frightened at the thought of not having something to do, even for a minute. The beauty of doing nothing is that it teaches you to clear your mind and relax. The beauty of doing nothing is that it teaches you to clear your mind and relax. It allows your mind the freedom to not know for a brief period of time. Just like your body, your mind needs an occasional break from its hectic routine. When you allow your mind to take a break, it comes back stronger, sharper, more focused, and creative. When you allow yourself to be bored, it takes an enormous amount of pressure off you When you allow yourself to be bored, it takes an enormous amount of pressure off you to be performing and doing something every second of every day. Now, when either of the two children say to me, "Daddy, I'm bored," I respond by saying, "Great, be bored for a while. It's good for you." Once they say this, they always give up the idea of me solving their problem. You probably never thought someone would actually suggest that you allow yourself to be bored. I guess there's a first for everything. It's really good. It's a really good reading, I think. Check mark this one so I know which ones I've read in my book. It's in reading that, it's like, I feel like I'm like maybe like 30% there. Like, it's really hard for me, like on just any average day. And I think part of it is because I also think to myself, but like we're here for but a limited time. Like, I want to do things with my life. I want to go places and see things and do things. And so often when I'm just sitting around, I think boredom equals to me like laziness. But what's interesting is that when I see it in other people, like I never judge it. I always am kind of like envious of it, But I'm always kind of like going. I will say the one thing though is like on vacations or all that kind of stuff, like I don't have a problem just kind of being present in the moment. Like I have things I want to do, but like at the same time, I'm like I was just talking to Mel about this downstairs and she was like, well, what do you want to do today? Or like whatever. And we're like planning on getting food and doing a live stream, whatever. And I said, well, these are kind of the things I want to do. And then I kind of want to just like sit and talk and relax, for the rest of the day. Because it's our last day together and whatever. And so I don't really have a hard time doing that either. But it's almost like, okay, I think this is where it started for me. I know this is going to sound crazy. But I was always the kid in school growing up that I was so afraid to give a speech in speech class that I would always go last, right? Like, I was terrified. So, I always sat in the back of the room anyway, and I would always wait till the very, very last minute to give the speech. So, if, like, it was based on who raised their hand, I was always the last person to give a speech in class. So, if, let's say we're doing speeches over the course of 2 weeks, I would sit there in fear for 2 weeks. Well, I can remember I was, W-O-O-L, well, I can remember I was, like, in college, and I took a speech class, because you had to, and I like had to go first. I remember like they picked names or whatever, and for some reason I had to go first. And it was like a demonstration speech, and I was like terrified to do the speech. I don't know why I'm just remembering this as I'm like telling it, but I did a speech. This is so funny, having been 25 years sober. This was before I got sober. I did a speech on how to make the perfect Bloody Mary. That is that. My friend, she actually did a speech. I helped her with it because we used to love to dance in the car. We called it car dancing, whatever. And so she made this box out of like a refrigerator box and brought it in, and it was supposed to be a car. And she, oh my gosh, she demonstrated herself like doing car dancing. That is so hilarious. I totally forgot about that. But anyway, so we had to do these speeches, but I had to go first. And I remember there was like 20 or 30 people in class. And it was like, classes in college are like on a Tuesday or a Thursday or whatever. Or Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it was like over 2 weeks we did like all of the speeches, And I got I went first, and I was terrified to go first, but I did, and I got it done, and then I just got to kind of sit there for 2 weeks and just enjoy myself. And I remember it was like this huge like aha moment, like, oh my God, always go first for speech class, right? Always just get it done, because once you get it done, then you can just relax and enjoy the rest. And it's kind of been my attitude like ever since then. I mean, maybe not when I was still drinking and stuff, but you know, I've remembered that. I remember that idea of if you go first, or if you get your stuff done first, if you get your homework done first, if you get your work that you brought home done first, right? Then you get it done, and then you can enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's like, you know, I have a friend of mine that like she always has her kids do their homework like first thing when they get home on Friday from like 4 to 6. She's like, no, I know it's the weekend and you want to go hang out with your friends. You're going to sit down here and you're going to do your homework. We're not going to be doing it on Sunday night at 6 o'clock in the evening, okay? And like we're going to be rushing to do it on a Sunday night. Like you're going to enjoy your weekend, and Sunday we're going to enjoy family time together, and you're going to sit here from 4 to 6. You're going to get your homework done. Her kids are like in middle school, so they don't have like tons of, you know, middle school. So I was watching Little House on the Prairie before I went to bed last night, but they're in junior high, but like lower junior high, like 6th, 7th grade. But you know, so they don't have tons of homework anyway. But she's like, you can go out and hang out with your friends when you're done, and then we're gonna have family, you know, like day on Sunday, but like we're not gonna rush it. And you know, like her kids get fantastic grades, and they just always like are doing stuff and enjoying their lives. And I think it's because like they've learned to put like work and get it done first. I think you have to learn how to draw boundaries with that too, though. You know, like to be able to like kind of like have it all tied up so that you have time for your weekend. It's hard to balance that stuff. There is no perfect balance to that, you know? And I think it's a balance between, you know, when you're a person that has a very busy mind and you're constantly thinking in ideas and I want to do this and I want to do that and blah, 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 whatever. Could you tell that I kind of woke up through the course of this video? That's what happened. Did you see that? I haven't been up long, okay? But like now I'm up. I can feel it. I'm like up now. But when you're somebody that constantly has ideas, and you're like, I want to do this, and I want to write a book, and I maybe want to put an album out at some point. That's kind of a joke. But you know, like, and I might want to do community theater. I'm just kind of making things up. And I want to watch this series, and I want to watch all the Star Wars movies, and I want to read this book. And, you know, it's like you have all these things to do. It's like you don't want to just sit there and be like, you know what I mean? Like, people always ask me, they're like, how do you get so much done? Well, I think part of it is that I just am constantly going, and I don't allow myself to just kind of relax. And so for me, like taking a nap is my way of relaxing. For me, like driving around in a car and like seeing my good Judy and getting a fountain pop, like that's a way for me to relax. This weekend has been fantastic because Mel and I have just literally sat and talked and went and made coffee. We have made so many pots of coffee, you know, and just sat around and talked. And it's been really nice for me. And I think like I need to practice more of that. But at the same time, like it's hard because I don't want to give up this like drive that I have. I have witnessed, though, in my life so many friends of mine who 85 to 90% of their life is their career or whatever they enjoy doing as work or they consider work and all that kind of stuff. And they don't really enjoy their families and they don't really enjoy their friends. And, you know, and I don't want to wake up one day and look back and have my life be completely gone because I was so driven to get this stuff done, but I just didn't really enjoy what it was all for in the first place, you know? So it's a great meditation, and I'm going to definitely practice being bored a little bit more. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.